What can I say? I'm on the border. It's our last border crossing. The last time we have to get the car checked out, get the tent trailer checked out, get into the next country, spend our 1 or 2 hours on the border. But all during this journey, we have been raising money for the children of Panama to buy them bicycles so the kids can get to school from a long distance away, or if they're too poor, they can have a bicycle. A bicycle in Panama is like a car to a Canadian family or an American family. We're going to show you the school. We're going to show you hatchings of turtles on the beach. And then we're going to make our final journey into Panama City. It's going to be a dangerous journey with the traffic and the highway and the speed. And we're going to race to get across the Bridge of America, across the Panama Canal, and finally to the finish line in Panama. Time for margaritas, celebrations. So let's finish this. Come on, let's go. Well, we've reached Panama, our last country of the octogenarian odyssey. We've got a few things before we get to Panama City. So we crossed the border with not much of a problem and cycled about 25 kilometers down the road where we met our friends that are living on the coast here and have been Facebook friends for a long time, and they have set us up with accommodation on the beach. And what we're looking forward to with them is we're going to see some turtles hatching and a turtle release. We're going to go to the school and present 31, well, on that particular day, 16 bikes. 15 more bikes will get presented later on, a couple of weeks later at their Christmas concert that they have. So we're going to go to school and make 16 children very happy. And then we're going to get on the bike and start riding towards Panama. So let me backtrack. We get across the border, we meet our friends. They're going to guide us in. And we start going and the clouds get blacker and blacker. And thunder occurs and lightning is around us. And I don't ride if that's happening, so we got to seek shelter. We got to a little town and we got some shelter outside of the grocery store, and we stood there for, I don't know, maybe half an hour as it pelted down rain, cats and dogs. And when it stopped, we got back on our bikes and we started off. And we're no sooner 5 kilometers down the road when, oops, here comes the second storm, or we caught up with the first storm. I don't know which one it was. And I just said, heck with it, I'm riding through with it. Riding then with a lady named Elizabeth, and the two of us rode through the rain, soaking wet. The other ones took shelter again and had to stay there. And we got in about 40 minutes before they did to the condominium. Beautiful condominium on the ocean, a large expat community there. A dinner was arranged at a local restaurant where we met the mayor of the expat committee and talked to them and shared stories about their life and our journey. And then the next day we're up bright and early off to the school. A bunch of expats came and trucked the bikes down to school. We were welcomed at the school, got in there, and they had selected 50 students who were going to be in the draw for 16 bicycles. They had selected 50 students who were good students, but poor students, students that had to walk a long way to school, students that would probably appreciate a bicycle. Down there, a bicycle means the same as a family car does in Canada. So to add a bicycle to this family, especially for a student, would be a very big deal. The people we're staying with, Nina and Richard, they had organized the event. They had bought the bicycles. Richard, being a very strong cyclist, went through and made sure the bicycles were all tuned up, all safe and ready for them to ride. So it was like me being a principal again. I'm in a big gathering of students. I'm an honored guest on the side while a concert is presented, a girl playing a violin, another one reciting some poetry. And then finally it was time for the drawing of the bikes. and they selected the names and the children's smiling faces as they got it. And then once they had their bikes, I then was asked to talk to them. And so I talked to them with an interpreter, and it was like standing in front of my own school, in front of a general assembly, and I related our trip, and they got to ask a lot of questions. And if they asked 20 questions, 15 was, what was it like to meet Santa Claus? And will you take us to the North Pole to meet Santa Claus? And I indicated my experience with that, and I told them yes, I would if they kept training on their bikes and got passed through school, that we could make a bike trip up to the North Pole. I remember one person's question, well, I suppose you need to eat healthy food. What is your diet like? I said, well, I'm not the poster boy for healthy living. My diet is pizza, hamburgers, potatoes, apple pie, pastry, ice cream, spaghetti, chocolates, candies, alcohol, whatever you want to put in the diet. And it seems to be working, so I'm not planning to change for a while yet. And I got a couple of happy faces from some of the other people in the audience that day as well. So very happy time. That evening, Richard, who is part of the turtle patrol on that beach, he goes out every morning on his electric bike, fat tire one, rides the beach looking for turtle nests. When he finds them, he brings the eggs back to an area where it is protected from humans. Humans, I guess, like to eat the turtle eggs, but also a lot of other predators like to have the eggs as well. And they put the eggs underground and keep them at the right temperature until they're ready to hatch. That particular evening, Richard was hatching with the game warden that's in charge, 243 little turtles. And Yoda, Johana, and Wayne, and Kyle was doing some filming. They got to take the turtles from one bin to the other, and then they take them over to the beach. They smooth the sand out so the turtles don't fall in a little footprint and can't get out. And these turtles make their way to the ocean and hopefully survive and swim out into the ocean. So it was exciting watching this turtle race as 243 of these little fellows making their way. They do it late at night because the birds aren't around. And that way they got a little more safety. So the seabirds aren't swooping in and picking up the turtles. Next day it was off, down the highway. I don't know how many nights till we get to Panama City, but the highway's good, nice shoulders. We end up in a beautiful resort 100K out of Panama City as one of the world's largest fake lakes. I've been told it's number 2. There's a bigger one in Chile, I've been informed. And nobody's in it because this large fake lake with all the paddle boards and sand and everything is right beside the ocean. Everybody's down in the white sandy beaches of the ocean and rather than in the pool. So that night, before we finish, we go celebrate. It happens to be Mother's Day in Panama, December the 8th. And we get to the restaurant and lo and behold, mothers get a free bottle of wine. So, okay, beside us are 4 women from the United States who had seen us on the road and said, oh, we saw you on the road. So we had quite a party, the 5 of us and the 4 of them, and as much wine as you could possibly want to drink with all the ladies present, each getting a bottle of wine. So it was a good time. And then heading back, of course, Bob and Kyle and Yoda, well, we should stop for one more drink. Oh, here's the bar. Let's go in there. Oh, what do we have this time? Let's have some gin and tonics. Okay, we'll have a couple more. Because we got nothing to do tomorrow except ride about 80 kilometers. Last day, we get there, go to sleep. Next morning, head's hurting a little bit. Oh, it's sore. Johana gets a call from her friend. She says, you may not know it, Johana, but the Bridge of America closes at 3 p.m. If you're not there by 3 p.m., you can't cross over, and you have to go 20 kilometers down the river or canal and cross over another 20. Oh, that's going to add 40K more? No way. So we weren't ready to get up and get going. All of a sudden, hurry up, get dressed, let's go, grab a banana, we're on the road. And so our last day that we thought would be a day for chatting, reminiscing, thinking how great we are for doing this. I mean, we all knew we could do it. It was never a case that I wasn't going to be able to do it, but the fact that we have accomplished this, that disappeared. It was now a race to the finish line. So on our bikes, going at full speed as fast as we can, 2 electric bikes, Kyle and I electric, Wayne on his, and it's hilly, we're making progress. All of a sudden the road deteriorates. The shoulder becomes gravel full of potholes, my phone flies off, gotta stop. I didn't pick it up, but a police officer on a radar gun noticed it, and he stopped photographing the speeding cars and picked up my phone and brought it down to me, and I thanked him for that. Traffic jams, we're on a highway that's now 3 lanes wide. We're riding on this shoulder. We've got entry ramps coming off my right-hand side, cars coming at 120 to my right, cars 140 on my left. I'm the one that has to cross over to the lane and make it to the other side. It's very stressful having to merge with all this fast traffic. You come to a number of bridges, shoulders disappear, and now all of a sudden you're forced into the lane of traffic. Anyway, to cut a story short, we make it on time. We get there about 2:45. We're the only people on the bridge. We've got the whole bridge to ourselves, no cars or anything else. We ride across the bridge, take some photographs, and we've got 2 kilometers to go to the finish line, to the park in Casco Viejo, which is the old center of Panama City, being restored. We pull into the park. There is no bands, there's no dancing girls, there's no crowd cheering or anything. Just the 3 of us on the bike. We pull up, park the vehicle, and all kinds of outdoor restaurants. So okay, let's have a margarita and celebrate. But after a few minutes, Wayne's wife arrives. Gloria and her mother arrive. Eventually the van pulls up because the van did not make the crossing. They had to go down and cross on the other bridge that we avoided. So we have a great party, lots of celebrations. We're taking our picture in front of the statues. We've got the police on their bicycles wondering what's going on. They want to know the story. We're getting our pictures taken with them. The waitress is serving cocktails, and everything is a really good time, and it all ends right there. Not with a whimper or not with a bang, but not a whimper either. And the journey is over, and reflecting back about how we did this, the planning that went into it, the riding, the difficulty of riding, the different people that made up the group, the social experiment that we were kind of conducting. We all sort of reflected that we're so much better now than we were 5 months ago. We've accomplished things that a few years ago we hadn't even thought about trying to do. All of us had been world explorers and bicycle people before, but this package was the ultimate package that we have experienced, and we celebrated each and every one of ourselves and as a team together, and the team was responsible for getting me to the finish line and themselves as well, and it was a great accomplishment.
This was so cool. We were riding down the one highway in Northern California when we met a motorcycle traveler named Serge. He said he might be in Panama when I broke the record, and as fate would have it, he was. It was so cool to exchange stories from our journey and make some new memories too. The world really is a small place. Good luck on the rest of your journey in South America, Serge.
And before we end this episode, I want to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in and watching the episodes of the North American Odyssey. The book is entitled Trading the Sofa for a Bicycle Seat. However, it's not the end. Stay tuned because we've got all of South America completed. We go through the countries of Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina. Ventures of South America is totally different than North America. And then that book and that episode is entitled I Can't Stop Pedaling, Octo Odyssey 2.0. If iPhone can number all their phones from 1 through 16, I can number all my books 1 through whatever. We've also finished Octo Odyssey, Octogenarian Odyssey 3.0, the third continent, which is us crossing the entire width of Europe into Turkey and a little part of Asia. So look for that one as well. We haven't completed the planning for next April 2025, where we're off to Australia to circumnavigate by road on our bicycle the continent of Australia. So thank you once again for all your help, all your support. I appreciate your comments, everything. I appreciate meeting you on the road. Thank you very much. Adios, amigos.